Good day, this is Albert, and today I'm going to share a game that I just played against some opponent. Um, let's just have a look because I forgot which opponent I just played with, but I believe I have just won some very interesting games against higher rated opponents, and I would like to share this with you because probably there are some tactical insights or some learning I can do now after winning against these opponents. Let's just have a look first. Yeah, as you can see from this statistics, I have reached one of the peak rating so far. I'm rated around 16550, and it's pretty good to sort of increase in your rating. And one of the best win is actually very recent against dexi982. So it's just today. I think it's in the morning. So just have a look here. Uh, yes. So it was actually this morning at 4 or almost 5 o'clock in the morning. And I was white here where dexi982. Yes, I was playing in the morning, so because you were sleeping, and then I was actually waiting
For
uh,
what?
for the jobs thing to appear. Every day I have a job reminder, so I can apply on them. But while waiting on those jobs, I played chess, so it's actually testing whether you are thinking clearly in the morning or not, maybe. Okay, if that's what you think, it's okay. So let's just have a look at this game. I think it's a Scandinavian defense Mies's Kotrok variation. So it's very interesting because at the end of the game, it's actually there was some mistake made by black or the opponent, and it's punished severely by me by we as white. And it sort of shows that if you are playing without any blunder, it's actually good, where if you are playing with a lot of blunders, it's actually uh, not really good for you. So as you can see here in the stat, yes, I have zero blunder against my opponent, which has one blunder, and I punish the opponent severely. Okay, so let's have a look. It's started with e4, which is a king's pawn, and then the opponent replied with d5, which is the queen's pawn. And from here, I just take using my pawn at e, and then here the opponent chose to not gambit that d pawn, so it's not a gambit. So the queen took it back using yeah, the opponent took back using its queen at d5. So if you're new to chess, a gambit means you are sacrificing usually a pawn or pieces or other pieces in the beginning of the opening to gain some advantages in space or in development of your pieces. But here black didn't sacrifice its pawn, but it actually take back take back the pawn. So after queen took d5, I moved my pawn to c4. The idea is actually to kick the queen. Also, it's actually to free up the c pawn to move forward for the idea of fianchettoing my bishop at b2 later on. And this is actually pretty good because the c pawn is usually pretty passive if you don't do this in the beginning. And some people might just want to move instead of going c4. Some people do knight goes to b3, and it's actually serves pretty much one of the same function, but I prefer doing this c4 because that c pawn is actually not hindered by the knight. That usually some people go to be c3 on, so it's pretty good to do this. And then queen runs away to its initial position, which is d8. And I believe this is it's a fair move, but some other people are used to move its queen to bring it to the game instead of returning it back. But it's actually a fair move because you don't want to bring the queen early out in the game because it can be attacked and then black can lose tempo because of that. So after queen goes to d8, I move my knight to f3. The idea is actually to prevent e5, as simple as that. So it is a preventive move. So here it can be seen that black goes e6 because e5 will be taken by the knight. So after e6, I move my pawn to b3, which is continuing the idea of fianchettoing my bishop to b2. Here knight goes to f6, probably trying to gain control of the middle squares of the chessboard. And then bishop goes to b2, which is the continuation of the fianchetto bishop plan, which is done now. And then here knight goes to c6. So it's like the 4-knight system, bringing all the knights there. Just continue with the knight goes to c3. After this, black goes bishop goes to c5. Here I can see that the idea is attacking the pawn at f2, probably by moving the knight to g4. And I want to prevent this by moving my queen to c2. And then if there is any attack to the pawn, such as this one, such as the knight goes to g4, I will just simply move my pawn from d2 to d3 or d4, or I will move my knight to d1 because it's pretty strong. Anyway, what happened here is black move its knight to d4, probably try to challenge my queen position there. Some people say that my queen is actually in a fancy position, so c2 is actually a fancy position for the queen because it is sort of trying to attack both diagonally and probably horizontally vertically as well, if the pawn at c is actually open. But I'm not sure what is fancy or what is not, because this is actually just a move that will sort of launch the queen easily later on. And but some people say that it's actually pretty fancy. So yeah, well, because of this intermediary positioning of the queen. So here this challenge I just exchanged my knight, and here comes queen goes takes d4, and from here instead of castling I just move. I attack my queen. I can't attack my own queen. Sorry, I attack the opponent's king by moving my knight to d1, and here it goes discovered attack by the bishop, by the fianchetted bishop at b2, and black queen is actually under attack at the moment. And yeah, it's like that. So if the queen moves, I plan to take the knight at f6 because it will sort of destroy the pawn structure unless the queen can take it back. Here what happens is queen move back to d6, and I just did as planned, which is taking the pawn at f6, and then g takes f6. So you can see here that there is a stack or double pawn structure, as you can see here by black, and it's actually not pretty nice later on for black, for the development or for the marching of the pawn. And I have a 15% remaining battery. Okay, let's just continue. So I move my knight from d1 to e3, and the idea is actually to block any more attack to the pawn at f2. And from here, bishop goes to d7. Oh, sorry, what happened here? From here, yeah, bishop goes to d7, and then I did a long castling, or yeah, queenside castling. Some people say it's like queenside castling, and the idea is actually to attack black's queen later on, and I think it's like a safer side for me. Now bishop goes to a3 check, and I simply move my king to b1, and from here black also follows the idea of queenside castling, and here I move my pawn to g3. Why is this a move that I did? Because I want to Yanchetto my other bishop to g2. Got my glasses. Okay. And actually the machine said that it's actually a mistake. It doesn't like it because probably later on, as you can see from this game, my rook there is actually pretty weak because there is overloading after some exchanges. But let's just have a look. So bishop goes to c6, as you can see here, trying to attack the rook there. I protect using my bishop at moving to g2, and if this diagonal occupation is done by black or white, it is actually very interesting because um, the idea of Yanchetto bishop is actually to occupy the main diagonal, whether it's black square diagonal or the white square diagonal. And it's actually very interesting to have two bishops on the diagonal, and here black chose to exchange the piece, which I accept readily using the knight there. And queen here moves back to d7, which is an interesting move because I'm not sure what the purpose is. Probably it's just trying to just move back a little and maybe decoy me, but I actually don't really think it's a decoy. I just move my pawn to d4 straight away, and here queen goes to c6, which is a dangerous move actually. And here actually I made a mistake by moving my knight to e3, and believe it or not, the engine stated that black actually can take the pawn at d4 using the rook, as you can see in this diagram at the moment. What happens if black takes this? If black took this, I will take back using my rook from d1 to d4, and then suddenly the queen, black's queen, can take the rook at h1, and there will be a check. So it's an exchange in pieces and also a winning of a pawn. But it didn't happen, luckily. So what happened is the rook goes to d7. Probably the idea is try to double up the rook, but it loses tempo, and I take advantage of this, which is by moving the pawn to d5, attacking the queen. Here black chose to exchange pieces by moving the pawn at e to take d5, and I simply take back using the pawn at c, and there is an opportunity to exchange queen, and black took it. So the exchange of queen happened. I just took it back using the queen, my king, and here rook goes. Black continues with the idea of exchanging, doubling up the rook, and I'm not afraid of that because simply says that I want to take the pawn at d5, and it's very interesting because I actually protect that using my knight as well. But I want to be safe in case the bishop goes to c5, probably try to attack my knight. So my idea is actually to double up as well using my rook. So I just move my first rook to d3 here, and then after that c6 is played by black. c6 was played, and it just came to my mind that I can have a pin for the pawn there. So I just move my rook to c3. Yes, move my rook to c3, and here black has to move its king, otherwise it's very annoying for black. So it moved its king to b8, and here what happened is I just took it. I just took the pawn at c6, and the engine actually doesn't like it. It says it's a mistake, but I don't believe it's actually a mistake at all. It's just a challenge of tempo, or actually a challenge of priority, whether you can sort of win this game after doing this, because my pawn is actually a post pawn, and actually it's marching towards black's king and black's defense, and I am ready to receive attacks such as checks, and I believe I still have my rook at the first rank, and uh, it still can defend my king well. So let's just have a look here what happened. King goes to d2, king. Rook goes to d2 check, and I simply move my king to b1. Rook chases by goes to b2 check, and I simply move my king to a1. And I'm not afraid of any attack here, because if rook at d goes to d2 trying to battery, I simply do knight goes to c4, and suddenly there is a triple fork of bishop and two rooks by my knight, and it's actually very strong in my opinion, because you rarely have a triple fork, and all of a sudden black has to make a decision whether to sort of try to move one of its rook to check me to save it, or basically it has to make basically a position. It is suggested here that the bishop goes to b4. The idea is actually to exchange rook using if I take using one of them using my knight, and then the bishop can take my rook at c3, but it didn't happen, and it is actually a very accurate move, but it didn't happen here. So black just continued on with taking pieces, such as you can see here. So rook took b1, and I just simply move my king to b1. So sorry, rook took a1, yeah, check, and then I simply move my king to b1, and then here black is running out of idea. It's actually it just took f2, and then from here I disconnect the battery by offering my knight and move my knight to take a3, the bishop, and from here there is a discovered attack. My knight is actually not hindering the attack of moving my post pawn to march forward to the last rank, and also if rook take, which happened, that is actually uh, that is actually a very bad move, because this will happen. c7 check, and from here black has to move. There is only one move that is good for black, which is king goes to c8 to prevent the promotion to become the queen. And also if king move to a8, then I will promote and it will become queen and checkmate. And also that's actually a force move, because here it goes, rook goes to d1, and basically the king has to find a way to escape this, because um, the next move is actually a rook goes to d8. Laura, don't hurt mommy, yeah? Never hit people, yeah? And then if you want to drink, please position yourself in a comfortable way, okay? Okay? You seem to be sleepy. Yeah, you're pretty warm. Are you okay? You still want to sleep? Okay. Now, black seems to actually the saving move here is actually as suggested from the engine. Is actually rook has to take b3 and then check, sacrificing its rook. Otherwise, there will be a checkmate. And b5 here doesn't help, which happened because after rook goes to d8 check, and then king has only one move, which is king goes to b7. I promote my pawn to queen, and then it's actually a checkmate in two. So black resigned here, and I think it's very interesting game, because from here, which okay, let me just go back for a few steps. Okay, from here, it's actually a game of priority and logic, and it's actually very interesting that black chose to try to attempt to attack my king, but it didn't sort of end up well, because I still have some defense, whereas my pawn that was is actually marching at the front um, is actually pretty, is actually winning the game, because black's defense is actually pretty weak. And also having the triple fork here is actually very interesting to me, and it's very rare to me to have this opportunity. I mean, it's pretty lucky for me, because um, yeah, and I sort of defend by attacking the pieces, which is a good counterattack, I suppose. Here black's almost winning, I suppose, but it didn't work that well for black, because I still have a chance to fork all of the pieces attacking me. So the end is actually very interesting as well, because it's definitely a guaranteed checkmate into king has to move to b6 there, and then I sort of can coordinate using my rook and my queen. So thank you for watching. It's an interesting game I did early in the morning. Thanks for dexi982. It's very nice playing with you. You asked me to rematch, but I didn't have a chance to click OK, because I was very a bit sleepy. And but it's a very interesting game, and I am thankful that I did this game, and then so thank you for watching, and it's good to analyze this game. Let me know if you like it. Bye.